Hi guys, it's Jody. Today's video, I have got a new wood cradle board that I want to try out, and I'll talk more about that in the video. But I also have a color palette that I've done a long time ago, video number 58, I believe. On Thursdays, I like to do kind of throwback Thursdays of what I've done around a year ago, you know, from that date or thereabouts. But it's fun for me to see not only the color palettes I've used or the style I was working on, but just kind of how I've evolved a little bit more and actually, you know, gone bigger. I used to get a lot of comments about why don't you use bigger canvases? And well, I mean, this is a tough technique, and you know, I started smaller, and as I was comfortable moving up, I would. Quite frankly. But it's fun to see, you know, the evolution as well as the, you know, colors that I may have used and have forgotten, because I have a lot of favorite color combinations. I mean, you know, some of them, but there's others that I've completely forgotten about. And I'm like, oh, wow. So I kind of brought that back here in this video. I updated it just a little bit. I mixed something a little bit differently. So that's what we're going to do today. So let's go have some fun. Let's run through the colors really quickly. I have got, this is the PBO Studio Acrylics, the iridescent blue black. And I actually have this mixed up with my Dutch Boy Joe Sonia. I had it for something else, so we're gonna use up the rest of this, but this is the consistency. It's a little bit on the thicker side, but it does have a nice shimmer in there. So there is that one. And this one, I love this so much, I mix it in with other colors. So I have a few custom colors that I made, and I kind of went the roundabout way with this one here. What I wanted to do originally was mix up this Liquitex Basics, the light blue permanent. And so I started with this. This is my Valspar Varathane pouring medium mix. So I started with this and that pouring medium, and then I put a squirt of this in, and it was looking a little bit dirty. I didn't like it, so then I'm like, okay, well, I got to do something here. So I added some of this, a couple squirts of the teal just to brighten it up a little bit, and then I still wasn't liking what I was seeing. So then I wanted a bit more violet undertone, so I added a little bit of the interference gold. Next time, I think I'm just going to go with this and this. This was kind of like the roundabout way, but it's got a slight undertone. You can't, I don't think the camera's going to catch it, but we're going to roll with it. And it was really up to the tippy top when I mixed it, so I wasn't going to go any further. So that's this color. And then I have got my Joe Sonia Black Umber. This is also Valspar Varathane. And then this color here is a blend of again, the iridescent blue black. I mixed this up first with the pouring medium, the Valspar Varathane, and then oops, that's upside down. And then I added in the Matisse Flow, the Southern Ocean Blue, which is very similar to, oh, where is it? It's really similar to Golden Fluid Turquoise, and I've actually done this color with these two before, but I thought I'd try the Southern Ocean Blue just to see if there was a difference, and I don't really notice too much of a difference. So you can use either one. And this is the color that it comes up with. I mean, it's luscious. Somebody really needs to come up with this color. This is also my Valspar Varathane, if I didn't mention that. So those are the colors we have for today. And this, as I mentioned before, this is a color palette that I used early on in when I first started my channel. I think it's video number 58. I did it on a small little test panel. Well, we're going to go bigger today. And my cell activators, I've got two of them, and I'm going to use both of them. I've got my Atelier Interactive, the Mars Black, mixed with Australian Floetrol 4:1. And then I have got the Atelier Interactive Titanium White, also mixed with Australian Floetrol at 4:1. 4 parts Australian Floetrol, 1 part paint. And that's it. So now we're going to go paint. All right, the substrate we have for today, I have actually got a 12-inch wood cradleboard round, and I wanted to talk about this a little bit. A friend of mine, her name is Leah Wolf, she actually makes these. Her and her husband have this little small business. They actually make these cradle boards. That's kind of what it looks like underneath the tape. This is already taped up and primed, but they make various sizes, and if anybody's looking for wood rounds, I'll put their information in the description box below. Her email, her Facebook Messenger, all that good stuff. But that is what we're going to do today. And again, this is a 12-inch round. And my pillow for today is going to be my the PPG, the Multi Pro. I'm going to get this poured out. I'm going to spread it all the way out since this is a board, and I'll be right back. I've got this all spread out. What we're going to do today, I want to do a bloom. I want to do a full-on bloom, not a floating bloom, but a full-on bloom. With these colors I have, I think it's just going to be spectacular. My first color I have is my, oops, and I'm already making a mess, Jody. This is the PBO, the blue black. I'm going to put more on. We can put more because we're going to stretch it all the way to about the edges. There might be just a tiny bit of negative space, but I've got something in mind. Go with this aqua blend I made, custom color. I'll put all of snapshots of everything I used will be at the end of this video, and also in the description box down below in list form. I do that for every video so that it's easy for you to find what I'm using in case you miss what I'm saying. All right, this custom kind of, I don't even know what to call this color, dark turquoise. I love this color. Along with that custom purple I made a few videos back. Someone's really got to make these paints. Maybe I should learn how to make paints. All right, and finally, I'm just going to put a little bit of this black umber on the top. Not too much, because we're going to have black cell activator too. All right, I think that looks pretty good. Let's do the white cell activator first. That should be enough. The black cell activator. That's plenty. I had to work for that one, but that blew out really nice. I want to do some modifications and have a little bit of fun with this before we spin it out. I know a lot of this is going to go over, but sometimes the reason I'm doing this is sometimes you'll get like a little peek of this as it stretches out, and it just looks so cool. So I kind of make a few modifications that way, even though, you know, some of it's going to go over the edge. The stuff that sticks around, it looks super cool. All right, this blew out. Well, and it's just settling in really nicely, actually. These are all the modifications I want to do. So I am so excited to see how this spins out. So I will meet you over at the spinner box. Here is what we got before we spin it out, and I think it is centered pretty much. Let's just move it up this way just a little. I think we're good. I don't need it to go, since the sides are taped, I don't need it to go all the way around or all the way down. So I'm just going to spin and we're going to go from there. Ooh. Ooh, this is going to open up nice. Just get it over this way a little. Move it this way because I want a little bit more coming off over here for my next spin. Boy, we should have done a floating bloom for this. This is looking pretty dang cool. It might end up being some negative space on here too, depending on how much paint I have to get off. I tried not to put too much on. Let's spin it again. Still getting used to this spinner. I have to, oops, I can't pick up my spinner like I used to my other one. I actually have to pick up the canvas to move it around. But that's all right. Yeah, you know what? We might actually get some negative space out of this. I need to get just a little bit more paint off, but this is just looking so cool. Oh, look at that. It looks like something coming out of the bottom of the ocean. Just the coolest. Actually, let's come over here. Yeah, my center is still moving just a little. All right, let's put it right there. I want a little bit of paint coming off right here. There. But I also want to keep it kind of evenly distributed. We are just about there. Oh, this is just gorgeous. I love how it's still, the petals are still defined, yet it is opened up so beautifully. All right, let's just, I think we're there. I think we are there. Yeah, there's barely any movement. We're there. We're there. That is what that looks like. I don't know if you can see the sparklies in here. I got to put this down. I'm going to go get cleaned up, find a place for this, and then I will bring you over for the flyover. All right, here we have it as a whole. I'm kind of glad it didn't go all the way over the edge like I was initially wanting it to do. It's just got such movement right at the edge, and especially right here, like when I pulled that out with the palette knife, it just makes the coolest effect. But let's get in here. There's a lot of really neat shimmers, and this bloom is just off the charts. I just love all these blues and how they've intermixed together. You can see all the shimmers in there. I love that blue black. It's so versatile too. I mean, you can add it. You've seen me add it to so many different paints now. Ugh, look at those little cells. Love, love, love. This is just gorgeous. I'm glad it turned out the way it did. All these shimmers in here, and just the way, just the movement. I mean, just the flow of it all. It's just so super cool. Oh, I see a little bit in there I got to get out, but that's okay. I am so excited to see how this dries, so I will be back once it's dried to show you the dried results. And I'm back to show you the dried piece, that the piece we just did, how it dried. And I'm just going to show you from my bench. Usually with bigger pieces, I'm starting to just kind of show it over in another area because it's kind of hard for me to move around here. But this is still small enough. This was a 12-inch round. So without further ado, here she is. This dried absolutely beautifully. I mean, I am so over the moon over this, and I'm kind of glad that some negative space was left and you get to see how the petals kind of formed. And I'm just going to move it around just to kind of, there are some really neat shimmers from that. I love that blue black. If I could only have a few colors, that would definitely be in my top 5, but let me bring you in and show you more of the detail. I mean, you got a lot of nice little bubble cells right in here, but I just love the color shift. And it is kind of showing up a little bit more blue. It is more of a greenish blue in person, but it's still, I mean, it's beautiful both ways. So there's that piece. I mean, just gorgeous. I am absolutely resonating this one for sure, and I'll bring it back, because I know some of you are going to ask what it's going to look like. And I do like to do those where are they now videos where I bring back how it was finished. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on this piece, what you thought of it. I really had a lot of fun with this piece, this color palette. I love that deep turquoise color. I'm going to bring it back again. So with that, thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.